my room with no pants on. Damn, so she not in the stress, so she so hands-on. Damn, you got me locked down, hold me for ransom. She won't let me go cause of this, and I'm handsome. Bad one, she pulling my room with no pants on. Damn, so she not in the stress, so she so hands-on. Damn, you got me locked down, hold me for ransom.
Queen, greetings.
Greetings
Welcome.
from the other coast. And you got me on pause, so I can't see you.
Yeah, it's probably gonna stay that way. I'm sorry, I hate it for you.
This is so ghetto. So this week, guys, we got Bad Ones playing by X Brody in the living room.
Hey,
Welcome
yes,
back.
Jam Sesh.
Welcome back to the living room, y'all. Now that the living room is like split in half and on the east and the west coast.
Yes. We are a bi-coastal podcast in this BIH.
So tell us, Queen, how's LA?
LA is it is LA. The weather has been decent. I haven't quite gotten the weather that I can bust out these thongs in and these thong bikinis and go to family pools and make people uncomfortable. But, we working towards it, I heard that North Carolina had like tornadoes and the things the other day, which I don't know why, but I laughed whenever I heard that because I ain't never seen no tornado. So it was funny to me. I don't know. But yeah, LA is nice. It's nice weather. It's a good time. You see celebrities and the things just being regular humans. It's a good time.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad it's going well. For you. You want to kick off month in review, or should I kick off month in review?
Chile. Why don't you kick it off?
Okay, wonderful. Well, to talk about me. I'm back in school again, last couple classes, and we up out of that thing. That was the only me that I wanted to talk about, so there's that.
Back in school. Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I do have some domestic things going on. I wanted to talk about Cynthia Erivo. Yet again.
Okay.
The good sis is back in the news again. I set the microphone on my on my tablet. So let me pick it up real quick. We're gonna pause for just a moment. So hopefully, if that made a sound, I can cut it out. I don't know if that made a sound.
I didn't even hear a thing.
Okay.
I wouldn't know a thing.
Well, you might not be able to hear it, but I'll be able to hear it later. Okay. So, Cynthia Erivo has been nominated for 2 Academy Awards, and the Oscars is actually going to be 2 days from now, so Sunday. And she's been nominated for Best Actress and Best Song for Harriet. Now, Cynthia Erivo is the only woman of color that's been nominated for an acting Oscar. And so people are asking questions because they're wondering if she's going to perform, because they're thinking she will be asked to perform because she has been nominated for Best Song. But so the reason why people are asking that is because I'm not sure if you heard about this, but she was asked to perform at the BAFTAs, and BAFTAs, for anybody that doesn't know, stands for British Academy of Film and Television Awards. But no people of color were nominated for acting awards at that show. And no women directors were nominated, which was something that Cynthia Erivo was drawing attention to. So she was asked to perform there, and she refused for those reasons. And I took some notes on her statements, which I thought I had pulled up, but apparently I do not. So I'm trash. Let me get that pulled up real quick. Sorry, y'all. We're going to be struggling a little bit as we get our podcasting back in order.
That's why y'all are here. Y'all like the kinks. We're kinky. You're kinky. Welcome you to the living room 4440.
I'm sorry. The king. Okay. You lost me there for a second. I was like, I'm not sure what you're saying. I got you. So yeah, we apologize, y'all. We also apologize if there's any poor sound quality, because we are figuring out things. We are 2 queens who are learning the things. So please.
And honestly, if there is something wrong with it, simply blame Sydney. We all know I can barely turn on an iPhone, so if any issues come up, you can just blame Sydney and leave me out of it entirely. I just, show up.
Queen. I appreciate you.
No, y'all know Sydney's the GOAT. She, she has to put up with my shenanigans.
Yeah, that's okay. You're worth it. But I finally have her statements pulled up. So she said,
wonderful.
I felt like it didn't represent people of color in the right light. This is what Cynthia Erivo told Extra. It felt like it was calling on me as an entertainer as opposed to being like calling on me as a person who was a part of a world of film. And I think it's important to make it known that it's not something that you throw in as a party trick. And then she said, I work hard, and every single person of color who is working in these films this year has worked hard, and there are many of them who deserve to be celebrated. However, when it came to her being nominated for Oscars, her comments were, to receive 2 Oscar nominations for a film paying tribute to Harriet Tubman, a person whose heart and spirit are the embodiment of courage, makes this morning's news beyond anything I could have ever imagined. This is more than a dream come true. When I got the opportunity to play this incredible woman, she continued, I felt truly honored that Cassie Lemons, I keep doing it to her, the film's director, and our producers saw fit to have me play the part. Being asked to co-write and perform the song in the film was the icing on an already wonderful cake. I continue to feel overwhelmed with gratitude today for the Academy for recognizing the performance and our song Stand Up. So now, I don't know when Cynthia wrote these things, if she knew she was the only woman of color nominated for an Oscar, an acting Oscar or not, but people are basically wondering, because the way I was looking at it, the questions that I had was, should she perform? You know, should she just be able to have this moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, she might be an actress who is in it for the awards. Like, I literally heard Taraji say that, I'm not here for the awards. I come here because, you know, I love the craft of acting and I want to, you know, give people, you know, make people cry, laugh, that kind of thing. Like, Taraji literally has said out her mouth that I'm not here for the awards. But Cynthia may be here for the awards. So in my head, I'm like, you know, we're only human. You know, maybe we should just let her have her moment. But I personally...
So people are mad at her for being excited about an award?
No, people aren't mad at her for that. So the backlash that I saw was when she said, like, oh, I'm not going to perform at the BAFTAs, like, you know, because of the things I just read out for y'all. People were basically kind of like, when I read the comments, they were saying, like, oh, now you for the people. Oh, now, like, where was this energy when you were saying something about a ghetto American accent? You know, people were still angry about her comments about Black Americans, understandably. And again, like we said on a previous podcast, like maybe that was, you know, what she got out of playing this role, you know, being Harriet Tubman. Maybe now she's like, well, I played this part and it has awoken me. My consciousness is now here and fully intact. And so because I was here for it, I was like, okay, girl, yes, ma'am. But then when I saw this Academy Award thing, I was like, all right, well, I think you might have to keep that same energy, sis. The BAFTAs didn't have none, and you are the only one. And then there's this conversation about how we're also only nominated when we're playing these kind of roles. Like, we only get Oscar nominations when we're playing slaves and housemaids and things like that. So, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my opinion on the subject matter. I personally think that all women and people of color should sit out of any award show that does not acknowledge Black people and women and people in general of color. So say that to say, I think all Black people and anybody else, all women, everybody should not go to the Oscars on Sunday. We should be like, oh, y'all only nominated one of us? Well, we won't be there. Because I would just like to see what it looks like when there's nobody sitting in them seats but white people. Like, because I really, it's like, if y'all are going to continue to ignore us, then, you know, keep on ignoring us on the night that you need us to perform, on the night where you want us to come up here and give good speeches and make y'all cry and tell y'all how y'all need to do better. No, let's just not go at all. Like, I just really would love to look in the audience. Well, I wouldn't be watching it, but I would love to see, like, videos later on that say, girl, I didn't know Black people go to that.
You know, if there were none, but I feel like when there's one, why can't we celebrate this one queen's thing? Like, how many until we say, okay, I'm willing to go now because now there's 2 or now there's 4 or now there's 10? Like, what is the magic number and who sets the magic number for when we go to support?
And that's the thing, though, because if it's only one person, though, like, you telling me all these movies that came out last year, including us, only one Black woman, only one woman of color in general. We're talking about across all acting. We're not even talking about behind the scenes, costume, production design. We're not talking about that. Normally, we get the things. Like, we at least get nominations for acting. The only person y'all nominated was Cynthia Erivo, and people didn't even like Harriet like that. So, again, comes back to this idea of...
I'm sure white people did.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, it's... I don't know. I think that, because again, the BAFTAs didn't nominate no people of color, no women directors, no people of color in acting categories. We should just not go. And I just feel like we hear this argument time and time again when it comes to Grammys, when it comes to anything other than a BET award and the NAACP awards. We don't get no recognition. So I feel like we should all just stop going until y'all get some gusto about y'all. Because it ain't even just got. I'm not even talking about just people of color here. There were no women nominated. So the only people we're acknowledging still after all these years are white men.
Well, yeah. I mean, they make these shows for their mediocrity. So, I mean, we can only be so surprised whenever they're like, but we only want to celebrate our bare minimum efforts.
Mm-hmm. But I guess I said that because change comes when there's solidarity and when the masses, make moves together. So that's why I was like, we all decided we wasn't going. I bet you we get some nominations then. But we're going to cry and bitch and moan about it for a few minutes on social media. And then we're going to be right there in them seats looking silly when we don't get called for nothing.
Well, I don't know who I was nominated for all of the things in general. But I do know that Hair Love was nominated, which I actually want to talk about a little bit later, as a short film dedicated to black hair. But Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade helped produce it. And the creator was Matthew Perry. And those are people, and it's like, well, why would I not go and not celebrate other people of other categories that are nominated for things?
But they're not nominated, though.
Yeah, they are.
You said that they were producers. They don't give out Oscars for producers.
Oh, no, I'm saying Matthew Perry is nominated, who is
ain't he white?
The show's creator. No, he's black.
Matthew Perry?
Yeah.
That man is not black. Are you talking about the dude from Friends?
Sydney. Now I know you don't think that that's who I'm talking about.
I typed in Matthew Perry and this white man is up on my screen.
No, I know that there is a Matthew Perry, but there is another Matthew Perry who created a short film. He is black and he has locks.
I typed in Matthew Perry black and a white man in a military uniform came up. I don't know what you're talking about.
Type in Matthew Perry Hair Love. I'm weak. You said the guy from Friends?
Sis, I typed in Matthew Perry Hair Love and that white man from Friends popped up. Who told you he was black?
Cherry. Matthew Cherry. My bad. That's my fault. I was like, the man from Friends?
No, girl. I don't know what you're talking about because even right now it says why Matthew Perry's Hair Love short film is an Oscars.
No, okay, so that is their typo, but mine was misspoke. His name is Matthew Cherry, but yes, no, he wrote Hair Love, Matthew Cherry, as in the fruits.
Sis. Book? No, you're talking about the book. You're talking about the book.
Yes, but it was a short film.
Right, I see that, but the only thing coming up under his name is the book. Let's see.
Not click, click, click. I can hear that.
They gonna hear it on the look. They do it on the read. They be hearing them look stuff up on the read. So hey, we just trying to be famous out here.
Yeah, Matthew Cherry. My bad. That was my misspeak. Is this your thinking sound? What the hell is this?
That's my girl. I think you got this wrong sound.
No, it's not. My good sister. I sent it to you. I sent you the
I see the black man with the locks who wrote the book, but I don't see his name on nothing. They don't give away Oscars for books, Queen.
They made a short film, Queen.
Right, but they're not giving him an Oscar for his book. If he gets an Oscar, he's gonna be standing up there.
Oscar nominated for his short film.
Okay, I'm about to look it up. I'm about to look up Hair Love Cast.
Okay.
On to the other things. Did you have anything you wanted to say about Cynthia Erivo while I looked this up?
No, I have. I think I just said what I needed to say. I just feel like, I don't know, because what she has said in the past is problematic, but I don't know. I feel like people are allowed to celebrate their awards, honestly, no matter who they're coming from. I feel like you're allowed to accept and be grateful for and still help pave the way for others.
Well, from my side of things, for anybody who might still be confused on how I feel about the subject matter, fuck them Oscars and them SAGs and them BAFTAs and everything else if y'all want to keep on ignoring black people and women of color. But, if you want to celebrate your award that honestly don't mean shit because they only nominate white people for it, you can.
Not it don't mean shit.
It don't. I mean, think about that, though. Like, for real. How can you even know if you really, truly deserve something if you know that these awards discriminate against women and people of color, all minority groups? If I were a white man, I'd be like, I don't want this because how do I even know I actually deserved it? I'm just saying.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm just that's just my question. You know, fuck the NFL and them Oscars and anything that ain't a BET award.
Honestly, we would just have to fuck everything and fuck all of America. If
I'm
that's
down
the
with
only
that.
way, that's like saying, why would I accept this money? I don't know how much you're paying other people in this job. I still want my coins. I still want my coins very much so. Also, when it comes to being nominated, it's not even so much of, oh, they got this award, that's cool, then they get off the stage and it's the end of that. When you're Oscar nominated or, you know, Emmy awarded or whatever, like, those go into how you are able to get other jobs and more jobs within the industry. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just about an award show and that's it. It's the end. That's why you always hear about, oh, Grammy-nominated actor so-and-so is starring in this film, like, whatever. Like, those are accolades. Those are a part of almost like, I don't want to say certification because I'm not trying to say, like, that's the highest you can be is whatever these white people say your award is. But I just think that goes towards, it just goes towards your, I don't know, your many roles, your new opportunities as an actor, actress, or singer, or whatever. Like,
and I feel like it must not, seeing as to how many black people out here don't have them. Like, I mean, Jamie Foxx only got one. I was looking up Denzel, Will Smith. I was looking up all these black people, and they either had none or only had one. And then these are royalty. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are people who are genuinely. Tupac had not a single Grammy. And you gonna tell me he didn't deserve one? They gave Cardi B a fucking Grammy.
Ooh,
I'm out of
bloop,
here.
bloop. Bloop, bloop.
I'm out of here. So, say that to say, which that doesn't go to my point because Cardi B is not white, but just say that to say these awards can't really mean nothing because the people who have the most talent didn't have none of them or only had one. Tupac didn't have no Grammys? Are you kidding me? Why? Because he talked about blackness? Talked about that real shit? That's why? I'm done. I'm done with y'all.
But we could. Okay. All right. That's that. Cindy's angry. So I wanted to start off my month in review with just acknowledging and paying respects to Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and the 7 other lives lost on their helicopter crash. Peyton Chester, Sarah Chester, Alyssa Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, John Altobelli, Christina Mauser, and then the pilot Ara Zobayan. I don't know if I said that right, but they are holding Kobe and Gianna's ceremonies on February 24th, 2020 at the Staples Center here in Los Angeles. 2 for his daughter's number and 24 for his number. That's how they are paying homage that way. But just a very sad and big loss in a lot of athletes in their hearts. You know, a lot of family members are having to make arrangements that are very unexpected. LA specifically, Kobe spent his 20-year career here in LA with the same team. So yeah, that was just really sad and a really hard time in general because loss is really hard, and that happened over a weekend that I was actually traveling back home to Charlotte to bury one of my family members. So yeah, it was just really sad, and I just wanted to pay some respect to Kobe and his family and the other lives lost on the helicopter crash.
Yeah, that you know, my condolences to all the family members and all the people affected, all the people who, you know, knew them personally, because I just have a different outlook and perspective when it comes to celebrities passing away now. After Michael Jackson passed away, I just remember Janet Jackson being on stage at the BET Awards, and she was saying, like, y'all lost you know, your favorite dancer or your favorite musician, but I lost my brother. So I just have to kind of more so do more meditation on it, and, like, again, just, like, you know, more so paying condolences or respect to the people who actually knew them instead of, like, getting myself tied up in it. So yeah, and then it was I was about to say something else about that too. Because again, when everybody was posting about it, I was listening to a YouTuber, and he was like, yeah, his wife found out about him passing away on Instagram. And I was like, this is why I'm really glad that, you know, myself not being a fan of Kobe, I was never going to post or say anything about it anyway. Just, again, because I don't really have a connection to him other than just being a human being whose life was, you know, lost, quote unquote, you know, prematurely. So that's why I was like, I'm really glad I didn't, participate in that, because this woman didn't even have opportunity to be told like any other person, because everybody had to get their 2 cents out about it. And again, that's just people, and that's not saying they did anything wrong. They were just paying respect. Social media is very much so a part of our life and the fabric and everything that you do nowadays. So not to say anybody did anything wrong, but just when I heard that, that's what made me really sad. Like, I was like, wow. Same thing with, he was the black man that was shot in the chest. His son had to see it over and over again on Instagram, because we were all sharing it and all talking about it. And again, 2 weeks later, we move on. And Alton Sterling, it was Alton Sterling's son. So I said it to say, like, I was just like, I'm very sorry to the people who knew him. That's really all I can really say or have to say about it. And that's me doing what I feel like is the most respectful thing that I can do. So I am very sorry to all the people who knew and loved all the people who were involved in that crash. So that's my part. That's my 2 cents.
Very, very sad. Also wanted to just say Black History Month. Happy Black History Month to all of you beautiful people.
Yes, my favorite month of the year.
I wanted to give a special tribute to Trayvon Martin, who would have turned 25 on February 5th, who was murdered at 17 on February 26th, 2012. And also to Sandra Bland, who would have been 33 today on February 7th. Just not forgetting that we currently make history. It's not just about the only historical figures being Harriet Tubman or Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. There are tons and tons and tons of people who sacrifice for us, who fight the good fight for us. And you have, a Malcolm X in your midst, or you have a Sandra Bland who was an activist in her midst. And it's like, it's important not to forget any of these names, and also not to forget, more importantly, not their names, but not their legacy, and not their goal of furthering the culture and making us all better and having a better life for all of us. Don't forget that we are all making history every day, and that whatever you're doing, you're playing a part into history. So what do you want your legacy to be? Yeah, so happy absolutely. Black History Month to everybody. Hope that everybody is learning something new every day that you haven't learned. I hope that you are teaching your children, because we hear people say dumbass shit every day, and then you look at them and you're like, but that little nigga wasn't, they were born after the 2000s, and that's why they don't know shit about their ancestors. They're like, yeah, but somebody has to teach them. Why are we always leaving this to our school teachers who have the shittiest curriculum ever to teach our children about their real saviors, the real activists? So I hope that you guys are educating yourselves and educating your children, educating other generations, your nieces, your nephews, your godchildren, the kids you babysit, whatever the case is. Educate the people around you and educate yourself.
Absolutely. Y'all know Black History Month is my favorite month of the year. Black History has been 365 for me for the last 2 years, going on 3 now. But, you can always go to seethegreat.com. I have some a 3-part little mini series coming, the same museum videos that I have been doing, but I did it in 3 parts for the Peace and Justice Memorial in Alabama. So that'll be coming to an IG near you. But, I myself personally am celebrating by watching a different documentary, one for each day of Black History Month. So I watched 3 yesterday because it was a tornado, which to me is like a snow day. And I told Kalia that, and she was like, wow. And I was like, well, I'm actually kind of addicted now because I'm watching them on such different people. So I've watched one about the one I watched last night was about Jean-Michel Basquiat, and the one I watched, what's her name? Nina Simone. I've watched them on Fred Hampton. So we're talking Black Panthers and artists and musicians, and learning so much and being like, wow. And then because there's also documentaries out there, again, for people who are, who feel like, oh, I might get bored watching it. There are some that are literally just an hour. And if you have Amazon Prime, out of like the 20 that I have listed in my phone, I think maybe like 15 of them are all on Amazon Prime. So I haven't paid for any of them. I watched some on Stars, the Muhammad Ali trials I watched on Stars.
Oh, yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, so they're all over the place. I've watched the Nina Simone documentary I watched on Netflix. So say that to say, if you have a subscription, probably to at least everything minus Disney Plus, which even Disney Plus, because you could watch the Black History episode of The Proud Family and the Black History episode of That's
Amen.
Because and it's crazy because I didn't know who Marcus Garvey was when we were young, but the That's So Raven episode, that's a Black History episode, has Marcus Garvey in it, and I was like, wow.
Oh, well, I have to check that out because I don't remember seeing
that. Yeah. Like, there's no big part of it. I think they kind of like, it was more like they were coming down the stairs, kind of like a fashion show almost. Not to say they were doing a fashion show, but the people themselves weren't talking. I feel like the dad or somebody was just going through the different names, and the person would literally just walk down the stairs. But there was definitely Marcus Garvey, and I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Disney used to be on it, okay? The sister episode of Black History is also, their episode is also really, really good. But
also, I mean, not Disney, but the Fresh Prince episode.
So say that to say, even if you don't want to watch a documentary, which again, you can find some that are 50 minutes or less, which is why I was able to watch so many so fast, because I found a lot of them that were like 50 minutes long. But they are all over the place. You can watch your favorite show's Black History episode. You can watch a Black History movie if you don't like documentaries. You got Selma by Ava DuVernay, or you can watch When They See Us on Netflix, which is a really good one. I watched the Central Park 5 documentary. That was the first one I watched because I had been wanting to watch it for a long time.
Whew.
And when I tell you Ava DuVernay did her homework, like I feel like you could literally just watch the When They See Us film and you would know the things. Like it was
which I finally watched, people. I was able to get it together to watch it, and wow. Just wow. I mean, everything. I think sometimes like I get discouraged in that I want to be even more educated or know even more things and do even more things. But honestly, everything has been coming to me in the time that it's supposed to. Like I had to unfortunately drag LeBron James for filth when he posted Bill Clinton, and literally right after I posted him, and I was like, what the fuck, do you not know anything about Bill Clinton? He hates black people. And then I got to the part in my book, The New Jim Crow, about exactly what all Bill Clinton did, which I didn't know most of it, but it was just like, wow, you know, how timely. Literally the same day I had to drag LeBron, literally an hour later when I went to do my daily reading, you know, getting to read about all the facts and exactly what all he did against the African American community. And so I thought about that with When They See Us too. I'm like, wow, you know, having just read Just Mercy makes this even more timely. Like knowing that, first of all, you know, these young men are innocent, but also knowing that even if they weren't, why do we think it's okay to treat human beings the way that we do whenever we label them a felon or a criminal?
Yeah.
Just take the time to read and stuff, and you will find you start reading things exactly when and as you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. They had they didn't have it on a shirt at the Peace and Justice pavilion, where that's where the his gift shop is, Brian Stevenson. But there was a magnet that said, like, basically we can assess character, or really assess how quote unquote good a human being is by how we treat the people who are in prison, the people who are impoverished, the people who are on death row. It wasn't those exact words, but like literally I was there and I was like, excuse me, do y'all have this on a shirt? Because this is the one I need. And they were like, we keep hearing that, we're gonna get it on a shirt eventually. And I was like, no, this one is facts. Because I was like, you really got to think about that though, because those are literally the people that we've thrown away. So like it's kind of like even that statement of saying that the best that we are is really the worst, is like the worst parts of who we are is how we kind of assess how good we are. So say that to say, when we're assessing America, like I have to assess it by the fact that we have 25% of the world's prison population. I have to assess it by the fact that how many people don't have health insurance and how many children go to bed starving at night, while we literally sit around talking about how we're the richest nation in the world. So I thought that was super dope. Even the fact that Brian Stevenson's t-shirts in his gift shop were only $12. I was like, oh, he's with the shit, y'all. Like he know that people ain't got no money out here, so he didn't make his t-shirts $25. When I tell you, I love that man. It was such a small thing to think about, but I was just like, he really knows that people really don't have money out here like that, so he did not make the shit in his gift shop $1 million. Yes. So yeah, say that to say, or y'all could, back to what you just said, y'all could go see Just Mercy, which is still in theaters. You know, I'm not a big fan of Michael B. Jordan's acting, but I am a big fan of his legacy. So
I'm weak. I think I'm going to see it tonight. I was talking about When They See Us, but yeah, I think I'm going to go see Just Mercy tonight.
Oh yeah, you should. And I want to hear your thoughts, because even Kalia afterwards was like, I see what you talk about, Sid. I'm just trying to say, I'm not trying to say.
Are you talking about his acting?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, no, I know. I understand. I understand what people are saying.
Oh, you never.
This is not to educate me. No, I like him. I like him, the individual. I like the projects that he does. Do I think that he could be way better? Absolutely.
Oh, okay, wonderful. I'm glad somebody else admitted it because I was like, he's fine. Because every time I post that on Instagram, people are like, oh my God, are you crazy? And I'm like, are you paying attention? Because he's cute by all means, but don't get distracted because he does not rivet. He does not rivet me. I don't be in there like, yes, I can't take my house off the screen. I'll be like, this is all right.
But no, I get it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But did you have something else for month in review? Because I think I got like one or two more things.
Yeah, I have one more.
Okay, wonderful. You want to switch off or you want to?
Yeah, you go ahead. Take it away.
Okay, so what are we going to do about Diddy? I would like to title this part of the month in review, what we're going to do about Diddy. So if y'all have not heard, Diddy has been accused of having a horrendous business model by his, I don't know if it's like, I guess his rap mate, his group mate, Mase. I'm not a big hip hop head, so I don't know what the exact terminology is. All I know is some of my favorite 90s songs have Mase and Diddy on them, so I'm assuming they had some kind of situation going on. They was in a little group or whatever. He was on Bad Boy. I'm pretty sure of that. Mm-hmm. But so anyway, Mase took to the good Instagram to say that he said that Diddy had a horrendous business model. He said that he purposely starved his artists and was extremely unfair. But apparently this was not news to the old heads because I was listening to a podcast and they were saying like, we all knew Diddy had terrible business practices and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, wow, well, I didn't. Had never heard that in my life. My biggest issue, so part of Mace's Instagram post, he like said that when he offered Diddy $2 million for his publishing, which Diddy originally paid $20,000 for back in the day, I think when Mase was 19, I think, or something like that. Diddy's response to Mace's inquiry to pay $2 million for publishing that Diddy paid $2,000 for was that if he could match the offer that the European guy had given him, he could have it, or else he could wait till he was 50 when it would revert back to him. And I simply thought to myself that sounds like some leech ass shit. Because what made me so upset was, okay, cool. It was just the wording. So I don't know for a fact that Diddy said that exactly, but let's say he did. You could have simply said, if you can pay me $4 million, cool, I'll give it to you. The fact that you said out of your mouth while you out here apparently saying all this black love, let's all support black people, let's buy the Panthers because black people, all this bullshit. And then somebody comes to you and says, can I get this? And you say, if you can beat the white guy. I was like, I'm grossed out. So, again, not a big Diddy fan. Am I saying we should cancel him? You know, I don't agree with cancel culture per se. But I was just like, what we going to do about Diddy? Because this ain't right. I'm disgusted. And I mean, you know, like I said, I'm not a big Diddy fan. So it's not like I got to be, I'm boycotting his music because I never really listened to it anyway. So, yeah. If Diddy said that, I would like to go on record as saying that Diddy is a leech. And, that's not okay. Like, we're not going to get anywhere. There are a lot of people who argue that capitalism does not work for black people. It might work for the few, but not the masses, not the majority. And again, this is another example of that. Probably a black person thinking they're going to get ahead in life by being like the white man, being capitalistic, being a leech. But the other thing too about it was that, like, I saw this news anchor saying she was doing like not a presentation, but I guess she was speaking about how you cannot be a billionaire and be a good person. It's just not possible. You only become a billionaire by basically being a leech. By, like, for instance, Jeff Bezos, who pays his employees $15 an hour while he has, apparently him and his wife got a divorce and they both walked away with $80 billion. Is that what I read? That's what somebody told me. So that might not be the exact number, but they walked away with multiple billions of dollars. So again, most people might be like, well, they paying people $15 an hour. But my mentality is very much aligned with that of Tupac, who said that I'm not going to feel comfortable if I'm walking past a homeless person on the street and I give them $1 knowing I got $2,000 in my pocket. I'm just not going to feel comfortable with that. And I think, again, if we all saw each other as a brother and a father or a mother and a sister, we would be in a much better place. That's what Stokely Carmichael said. So, yeah, not sure what we're going to do, but we must all do something about Diddy. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. I'll say that if that is what was said, if that's what transpired, that makes me very sad. But I mean, it's not shocking in any way to me whenever you hear some skin folk say that shit, you know. All skin folk and kin folk, and you know, I would hope, and we would hope that we can all be greater, but it's like you can only have so much money and be so rich, to me, doing right by all the people you need to be doing right by. Like, I feel like in order to be where you are, you probably stomped out the jugulars of some people who deserve certain chances or opportunities or money or whatever. Like, I feel like you probably didn't do everything right to have so much money. That is my personal opinion. I think when you get to a certain point and you are just so greedy and you just feel like I need more and more and more, but like, God damn, like, you're not so eager to help more and more and more and more. So why do you want so much more and more money? Like,
yeah, it's very sad. I just wish, again, if we all just took care of each other, or we acquired money and used it in a communal or collective way, we would be so much farther as a people. I don't understand why people feel a need to own jets and planes while people starve. I don't even think that should be a government intervention kind of thing. Like, oh, we should have a socialist government. We should have a communist government. Like, I just wish I think we'd all just be farther if we went, wow, I have $18 billion in the bank. Let me give away $1 billion for food for people. Like, or $2 billion or $3 billion. Like, if Jeff Bezos and his wife literally walked away from each other with $81 billion, how were you ever going to spend that much money? I read a post that was like, people can't even fathom how much money $1 billion is. Like, you think know, but it doesn't correlate with what you think a million is and as to what $1 billion is. So that's my 2 cents. But again, people have to do what they feel is right and what makes them happy. So I'm not supposed to be telling other people what to do with their money. I'm gonna just say that if I get that much money in life, I will not be sitting over here telling you got to buy your publishing back for what the white man offered it to me for. So
yeah. Yeah, not the first time, not the last time. And you know how people are in general. Like, people be willing to go to Nike and pay whatever their prices are, but a small black-owned athleisure business, and you don't want to offer them full price. And you be like, oh, homie, go ahead and let me cop that, and I'll post it for you. Like, damn, don't you just want to support your homies just cause? Like,
right.
Or pay them what they ask, or if you can't afford it, the least you could do is repost it or tell somebody about it, because that shit is free 99.
Right.
But, crabs in a barrel.
Yep, yes, ma'am. But I have one more month in review, but we're gonna go ahead and switch it off, as we said.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna mention. I don't know that we need to have a full on discussion. I feel like we've been there already, discussion wise, kind of. Mm-hmm. But Jay-Z and Yo Gotti under Roc Nation are filing a federal lawsuit against several Mississippi prisons, really, after several inmates died due to honestly, probably the lack of resources, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense how much money people pour into prisons, but then you also overpopulate the shit out of them. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then you want to blame injuries, fights, gang violence, murders, this kind of thing on all the inmates. And it's just like, there was a report that they had about a quarter of the necessary amount of guards and protection in place. That was what they needed for the size of the facilities. And within the past 2 weeks, after they filed the lawsuit, like within the past 2 weeks, 5 inmates have been killed. Not only that, but they're living in squalor with rats, with feces, overflowing toilets, etc., etc., etc. So apparently under Roc Nation, they are filing a lawsuit against the superintendent and the warden, trying to get some, I almost want to say relief towards the inmates, but honestly, when people are in prison, what is treating them humanely? You know what I mean? Like, oh, they have inhumane conditions. I'm like, y'all will say that when people are literally waking up with rat bites. That's when it's inhumane, but it's not inhumane in general to even have them in a dog cage in the first place.
Right. I agree. But I do think that that's dope, because the first thing I thought about was the fact that Roc Nation is going to have the money to afford some good ass lawyers. So,
absolutely.
Because if it was just, the family of an inmate who I'm assuming is probably impoverished, because, a lot of people are I know jails particularly, but so many people
this in particular was brought together by about 24 inmates. I think I want to say it was 29 to be exact. Inmates that got in on the lawsuit, which, if they're overpopulated that much, probably everybody needs to be in on that lawsuit, to be honest. But absolutely. We're talking about fighting for rights for inmates, quote unquote criminals, quote unquote felons, really ex-offenders. So it's kind of like, how many people are going to take that seriously until you have an engine like Roc Nation behind it?
Right, absolutely. So yeah, that's dope. I'm glad we're on the subject of Jay-Z, actually, because that was my next month in review. Did you hear about Jay-Z and Colin Kaepernick?
Oh God, I honestly, I just feel like it's such a tired argument. To be quite honest,
I do not. I am very excited to dive into the things.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was watching the Real, and yeah, you know that's one of my faves. And they were talking about how Jay-Z and Beyonce were having a seat at the Super Bowl during the national anthem. Mm-hmm. And then Colin Kaepernick apparently took to Instagram in his story and posted that, I thought we were past kneeling. And he was apparently referring to an interview that Jay-Z did, I think, almost 2 years ago or a year ago.
No, that was whenever he signed that deal with the NFL. So a couple months ago.
Oh, okay. So last year then. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and I was watching, The Real now has Amanda Seales on there. And I'm very happy that they have Amanda Seales on there. Not to say just because you have a degree in a certain thing that you think a certain way, but there does seem to be a very specific means of which people carry themselves and how they think when they have their degree in African American studies. And of course, a shameless plug, I have my degree in African American studies. So, but Amanda Seales has her master's in it. So I was like, oh, that's lit. It just adds a different perspective from women who have their degrees in different things, or women who didn't go to school, who started out in, being actresses and things like that. Your experience makes you who you are. So I feel like Amanda Seales having that master's means that she's going to come from a different mode of thinking, and she's going to add some diversity to the discussions on there. But she was saying that for her, she wished that Colin Kaepernick hadn't said that. She was like, these men of this stature, we can't afford to argue. We need to get some unity as Black people. We need to have this unity. And I was like, first of all, Black people have been arguing since the beginning of time. That is not the issue or the problem, because I think it's kind of like what I liked about the Black Panthers was that they said a lot about how they were going to carry themselves and make decisions based off what the masses wanted and what the people wanted. So, for instance, Colin Kaepernick saying I thought we were past kneeling. If the people are on Colin Kaepernick's side, then that's the means of which we need to go, because I understand his anger or his indifference, because even they're quote unquote not kneeling, because Amanda Seales said that she was like, well, they're technically not kneeling, and I was like, okay, girl, we're not going to get into particulars right now. At the end of the day, they are sitting down. They are not standing. They are not erect right now for this national anthem. And he did get up there, which it might have just been him misspeaking. But she did bring up also another good point of saying that Colin Kaepernick wasn't protesting the Star Spangled Banner. He was protesting police brutality. And the Star Spangled Banner in and of itself has some, racial undertones in it. Or just blatantly racist things in it. And so maybe that's why Jay-Z and Beyonce are seated. Maybe that's why they don't want their daughter standing up for it until, it's changed. We don't know what their reasoning was. However, just this argument that Black people need to be unified, yeah, I get that, but it's just we're never going to all think the same, because, again, we are products of our experiences. Me and I, obviously, here you go. Me and Amanda Seales I have a disagreement, and we both got the same degree. She got a master's. Let me put some respect on her name. But say that to say we're just never all gonna think alike. So I didn't agree with that. I personally am on Colin Kaepernick's side, since he was the one that lost his job for the things. So but what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the situation?
What exactly was? Okay. My thoughts are that at the end of the day, if the argument is about police brutality and also you unfairly losing your job and being told stand or get out the country, all that bullshit, at the end of the day, your beef is not with Jay-Z. Your beef is what you were protesting, which to me, I would say, okay, stand up in that and let that be your cause. Let that be your fight, your battle, whatever. If we just take the focus off of what you came here to do and put it on how you're mad at this Black man or this Black woman or whatever, you could simply ignore Jay-Z. I'm going to be completely honest. If you don't like what he's doing, honestly, taking the focus off of what you do, what your good deeds are outside of playing football and how you spend your time and how you spent your NFL Super Bowl Sunday, giving back to the community and feeding the homeless. That should be what we focus on, not about, oh my God, what did Jay-Z say to Colin Kaepernick or vice versa this time? Oh, Jay-Z wasn't standing and now Colin's mad and Nessa's mad. I just feel like that just takes the focus off of the actual fight and makes us fight each other, which is literally the oldest trick in the book as far as white people being able to duck and scapegoat is being like, yeah, but you see this black person, shouldn't you be mad at them? They're your skin folk. Won't you put the focus on them and be mad at them and let us off the hook?
Yeah, and I understand your point completely, but again, because I just know there's never going to be a complete 100% we're all unified with one perspective or idea. I don't think there's any reason with any problem with, like, you know, stating where you have an issue with someone. I don't think it's Colin Kaepernick's fault nor Jay-Z's fault if everybody gets blinded to the point that they're like, oh my God, they're fighting, they're beefing. It's like, okay, listen. The same thing with the black woman that gave the Bible to Amber Geiger. We have to be more analytical about when people put stuff in front of us to blind us to what the real issue is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we all need to be able to say, okay, I can think about this whole Jay-Z thing, because that didn't make me forget what the whole issue was. If anything, it made me remember, like, damn, Colin Kaepernick did lose his job for that shit. But that's just where my mind is. So I think that it's on us as people to be more critical and analytical about things when superficial stuff like that pops up, which personally I don't think is superficial, because I think if somebody says some shit you don't like, you need to be like, excuse me, I'm sorry, because again, Jay-Z literally did say, we're past kneeling now, blah 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 blah, because if anything he might have just misspoke, because I don't think if as far as the Star Spangled Banner is concerned, if it continues to have that, like, you know, racist segment, I don't know what to call that racist line in it, then we all need to be sitting down kneeling. So I think that maybe if anything, Jay-Z just misspoke, and I think Colin Kaepernick calling him out about it is not a problem. I think people just need to stop being so like, oh, beef, I'm so excited, let me go look at that World Star.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you almost can't, because that's what you brought to the table, right? That was something that drew your attention, but it wasn't, but what about Jay-Z's suing the prison system? Or what about Colin Kaepernick feeding the homeless on Super Bowl Sunday? Like, those weren't the things that were initially going to be talked about. Like, because him and Nessa, you know, had so much to say about Jay-Z or Beyonce, you know, sitting or whatever. Like, that's what we ended up talking about. And it's not to say like, oh, okay, that's because we're just so dense, we can be so easily distracted. But it's like, well, it's not even that we're easily distracted. That is what the focus is on now. If that's what they make it, they made the focus on that.
True, but I don't think that has to be the end of the conversation either. I don't think there's anything wrong with us discussing Colin Kaepernick and Jay-Z having beef and then moving on and talking, because I hadn't heard about Jay-Z having a lawsuit with the people and the things, which is wonderful. But again, for me, when I saw that, it made me go back and look at all the things that Colin Kaepernick had did. Like, I was literally on his page for a few minutes, like looking at all his videos, looking at him like being there to pass his shoes out to people himself. I watched him do give the food to the homeless people and all of that. So I think sometimes it too can still kind of unveil the other things that are going on, the more important things. But I think it's a good conversation to be had, whether it's even talking about, again, how we do have how we handle discourse, because that was another thing that Amanda Seales said, was like, okay, if that's how you felt, that should have been a private conversation, which I could also respect too. So
yeah, I think that's where I am with it. Like, I feel like to a certain extent, not all the time, but to a certain extent, especially when you're talking about people who have your best interests in mind, or at least have the best interests of our community in mind, I personally don't feel the need to like attack them publicly. Like, if I'm mad at something Jay-Z does, but Jay-Z is out here suing prisons for inmates dying under horrible conditions, I could be like, hey, Jay, what did you mean by X, Y, and Z? Or do you think we could sit down and talk about this? I don't feel the need to put shit on Snapchat or Instagram and literally just throw shade and be, to me, obnoxious about it. I just feel like there's a different way to go about certain conversations. And it's not that everybody is going to have that mentality, maturity, idea, whatever. Everybody doesn't have to think like me. I'm just saying what I would personally do, especially if I know that this person is not against the community. They may have done something that offends me personally, but they're not against my community. They're not against the same fight that I'm trying to fight. You know, they're also doing the things in their own way. And it's like, why are you going to go against my guy, Don Miguel Ruiz, and take everything personally? Why can't we just look at bigger pictures of things, or at least have our private conversations privately?
Absolutely. And when I'm being my best self, I too would keep my beef off social media. But when I just feel like being petty, because I'm human and I have the pettiness in me, I'm going to call your ass out on social media. Yeah. So, which, mind you, I've only done once in my life, didn't go well. But but yeah, so say that to say, I just understand that these people are human now. and they're gonna make mistakes. And sometimes you really just are that annoyed. Like Colin Kaepernick literally might have been like, oh.
Yeah. No, I think he is, but I just feel like he always is when it comes to Jay-Z. Like, I feel like he just has been for a while. And I'll be like, whew, I feel like his name in general irks you. Maybe you shouldn't listen to any of his music and just,
right. But
whatever.
again, he's human. And again, like, just like he might be out here doing all these wonderful things, he's also still a man. And men can be driven very much so by ego sometimes. So, yeah.
And here's one last point to that. If you were... I don't even want to open this can of worms, but I am. Oh, well. If you were boycotting the Super Bowl, right? You're not watching it because you're feeding the homeless, which I do love Colin, but I mean, I'm just being realistic here. If you're boycotting, how do you even know that Jay-Z and Beyonce weren't standing for the anthem? Because I didn't know.
You know somebody sent that to him. Just like Cardi B.
I'm saying, I didn't know. I watched the Super Bowl and I didn't even know.
You know somebody sent that to him the same way we know that somebody sent that liked tweet that got that shoe thrown from Cardi B at Nicki Minaj.
Right, but then at that point I would have been like, oh, okay, rolls eyeballs at the person who sent me the picture, video, whatever. I would just be like, rolls eyeballs. Literally kept it in that same chat and went about my day and kept handing out shoes and bowls of soup.
And that's because you above it now. But some of us are not. Some of us are here for the petty, as is Cardi when she threw that shoe at Nicki Minaj. But say that to say, it's like sometimes you got to realize when people are setting you up. We could have this could go in so many different directions, this conversation, because now here we are talking about how somebody might have just set him up and showed him that, because again, I didn't even know about it either and would not have known about it if it wasn't for the real. And then if it wasn't for the real, I wouldn't have known that Colin Kaepernick even said that, because I don't be on these people's posts like that. Yeah. But here we are. So say that to say, people be setting people up sometimes. Like somebody probably said, "Ooh, I know he don't like Jay-Z. Hey, yo, Colin, look at this."
Let us take a time now to reach out to everyone around us and say, "Hey, do not set me up for anger." How about that? Don't set me up for anger, okay? I'm a strong black woman, and I want to continue to be strong, to be great, to be level-headed, to push the culture forward. Please don't bring me no bullshit just because you know it's going to irritate my spirit. Let me have peace, people. How about that?
Peace in 2020. I feel that, Queen.
Peace all 2020.
Yes, ma'am. Well, that's it for a month in review, right? You get
that's all for me.
Alrighty, moving on, people. We are
moving on. We are at Blank While Black.
Wonderful.
Queen Sid the Great. Do you have anything this week?
I have nothing.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk about DeAndre Arnold, who is a teenager in Texas, of course, as all bad things do happen there, who will not be allowed to walk at his high school's graduation because he has locks that are too long, according to his school's dress code policy.
What?
So DeAndre Arnold was told that he could either choose to cut his hair, his locks, or he could go to in-school suspension. But if he went to in-school suspension for the remainder of the school year, that he would not be allowed to walk at his high school graduation. Now, he's a senior at Barbers Hill High School in Mount Bellevue, Texas. Bellevue? I don't even know if I said that right. But anyways, his mom took to the internet to share his story, got it plastered pretty much everywhere, went viral. He was invited to the Ellen show, where Ellen asked him, are there girls in your school? Do they have long hair? He said, yes, the girls in my school have really long hair. If my hair is basically up in a ponytail, it's in dress code. It's only if my hair is down out of a ponytail that it's not in dress code. And so Ellen says, that's weird. I think that whether you're male or female, you should be able to wear your hair however you want. And if girls can wear their hair long, it's not just a short haircut policy. It's only short for men. She's like, I don't think that that's fair. And then Shutterfly, along with Alicia Keys, presented DeAndre a $20,000 check for a college scholarship, should he choose to go, which he said he wants to be a veterinarian. But here's the thing. I looked up the school's policy. The school's policy says that let me quote it, that men's hair, that no male's hair should be below their earlobes or their eyebrows when let down.
Oh, okay.
As in, if I am a male who has hair to my shoulders and I put it up in a ponytail, as DeAndre does, his hair would be technically in dress code because it's not below his earlobes, it's not below his eyebrows. But the dress code says it should not be below the earlobes or eyebrows when let down. As in, If your hair is longer just naturally hanging as you wake up, if it's longer than your earlobes or your eyebrows, then you are out of dress code, which is the craziest thing I think I've ever heard. I feel like it would be one thing to be like, I want everybody's hair in a slick ponytail because we have a very strict school uniform, whatever. That sounds like one thing, but to be like, even when your hair is let down, it should not be longer than your earlobes. What in the hell does that even mean? Your hair goes down to the back of your neck. What you mean not below my earlobes? What does that mean? You need me to have a high and tight? You need me to have a fade or something every day? What does that mean?
Yeah, that's very weird. It just feels like we just spend our time making up just nonsense. Like we couldn't put our intellectual efforts other places.
And then so a superintendent? Let me see. I don't know, whoever worked at the damn school. They said, Greg Poole, who is the school's superintendent, tweeted, Barbers Hill has received scrutiny regarding our high level of expectations on all things and dress code. Yet, our African American students beat the state average on passing STAR by 22%, and our overall passing scores are highest in the state. Sounds like high expectations work. Which, Mr. Poole, you sound like a fucking idiot because their test scores have nothing to do with whether their hair grows past their earlobes. You fucking moron.
Yeah, that sound dumb.
Like that, what? We received scrutiny about our dress code, but our African American students beat the average. I'm sorry, what? What did that have to do with any damn thing? Right. You could have just said, I ain't changing the dress code. Bye. Like, you didn't have to say all that shit. Sounds like high expectations work. So are you saying that people with locks we have a low expectation of people who have locked hair or long hair?
Yeah, then I was about to say, then you just made it all about black people, which you could have then argued that it was about everybody, but now you're making it seem like this is legit about black people.
Right, because Connor and Tatum and Justin Bieber, they can't go in there with that hair that they do that head Tourette's kind of thing and they swoop to the side. They can't go in there with that because that's below their eyebrows and their earlobes. You know what I mean? So it's not even just against black people. So I'm kind of confused as to why we talking about that. But either fucking way, it is to me racist to even say like, oh, I mean, if your hair is in a bun, it's in dress code. But if you let it out, it's not in dress code. In which case, the dress code means even if your hair is up or down. If it's down, then it has to be. Because he can't go in there with his hair in a bun, like at the length it's in, because that's quote unquote out of dress code, even though it's not below his eyebrows or his earlobes. Because the dress code states when it's let down, it still has to be within these codes. Which is stupid. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, sounds like we could be doing much better things with our time.
Yeah, so honestly, fuck that school system. And Matthew Cherry and Gabrielle Union invited him to the Oscars this weekend, and they said, well, if you're not going to be able to walk across your stage at graduation, you will at least be able to come to this award show with us. And Dove Beauty Company is paying for his mother and he to have wardrobe and glam and all the things while they are in LA this weekend. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's kind of dope because, I mean, even though it doesn't fix the problem, it's just kind of really cool to hear all these people who are rallying around him because they understand what kind of discrimination people are facing. Kind of like I'm sorry, life sucks. Here's an ice cream.
Right. Because, I mean, just now in California and in New York in 2019, have we finally banned a discrimination against hair law? Like, you are no longer allowed to discriminate against hair in 2019 of God's years. Like, that's how long it's going to take for us to say, oh, it's actually illegal for us to discriminate against your hair.
Yeah.
2019, these bills were just passed. And it's just like, come on, Texas. I know y'all like to drag black men by horses and all of the other dumb things y'all do. But can we get on this? Can we understand that we shouldn't really be discriminating people's hair? That sounds fucking stupid.
Absolutely.
And all of this mess, when y'all could have been having your students studying for exams and STAR and whatever the fuck else standardized tests you guys have, y'all could have been focusing on that. But instead, you are trying to take a young man out of school, put him either suspended or in school suspension, which is for people with behavioral problems anyway. You want to punish someone for having hair? What the fuck does that mean? It's like those rules that say, girls can't have their shoulders out basically in school, that That was our dress code when I was in high school. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Are my shoulders going to distract somebody from learning? Because if so, that is their fault. That ain't got shit to do with me because my shoulder blades ain't doing shit but face towards this book.
That's what I was about to say. And it's crazy because, again, it's just a normal thing. There was an episode about that on Big Mouth where, like, the school put out a dress code, but the only people it affected was girls. Like, you can't wear short shorts. And, like, the teachers or, like, the principal or whoever, not the principal because principal was, like, an old woman. So I think it was one of the teachers was literally like, well, you guys are going to distract the boys. And it's like, what? Why is that my problem? Why do I have to be
Not
punished?
my fault. Teach Connor to keep his eyes on his own goddamn paper and not my shoulder blades, and we'll all be fine here. But DeAndre and his cousin, actually, who goes to the same school, I forgot his name, but he's also 16 and he has locks and has also been suspended. So it's not just DeAndre, it's his cousin, first cousin as well, who is being suspended from school and not allowed to come back until they cut their hair, which they are of Trinidadian descent, and they insist that that is why they don't want to cut their hair, which when he gave this quote, because he gave that quote on Ellen, I believe. But I'm like, honestly, that quote is not necessary. It should not matter what descent my father is, my grandparents, or how long their hair is, or if my personal God thinks I should have long or short hair. To me, that means nothing. It means nothing in a way of saying, I don't believe that you should have to even say all that, because it is not anybody's business. If your dad is Trinidadian or if you follow a certain religion or whatever, that means you should have long hair. Because at the end of the day, if you want to have long hair, you should just be able to have long hair, period.
Absolutely.
Because there's a clause in their dress code, which I found, again, on their website, the school's website, that basically says if you can't follow the dress code for certain reasons, basically fill it out if it's religious or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And of course in there, it's, it says basically, if you're religious, why is this religion important to your child? And why do you have to do X, Y, and Z, whether that means wearing a head covering or etc. And I'm just like, honestly, that is not your business. And since when do I have to tell somebody what my religion is or why I follow a religion or what that religion means to me in order to go about my goddamn business?
Right.
I have to tell you that? I don't even think you can legally ask somebody that. That's not your business. I don't have to tell you what religion I follow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you said it just now. That's a shame. Again,
yeah, that's on the paperwork for the school. That's on the paperwork.
We could be doing much better with our time.
So much better. We could actually be teaching kids how to do their taxes, honestly, truly. But instead, here we are, worried about the length of their hair and earlobes.
Right. I agree. What a shame. Did you only had one?
Yes.
Blank While Black?
Yeah, so Blank While Black, try not to have hair longer than your eyebrows.
Right, agreed. Well, sexpectations. I'm so excited.
Oh no, you always try to skip me.
Wait, did you have another sexpectations?
No, I have a Sounds About White.
You know what it is? I never have those, so I always forget about them.
I have them.
Okay, wonderful. Continue, Queen. Sorry.
Okay, people, it is time for my favorite segment, Sounds About White.
When we know it's your favorite segment.
I don't even know if it is. It just, it always makes me laugh that there's always some shenanigans to talk about.
It always makes me laugh too, which is why I don't actually be trying to skip it on purpose. I just never have one, so I always forget about it. I didn't even write that down.
Okay, write it down, Anime. Okay, so this week we are traveling to Nashville, Tennessee. Wilson County Judge Haywood Berry regrets comment about regular white man hours in court. What does that mean, people? You may say. All right, so Mr. Judge Haywood, or Haywood Berry, I guess. That's a very weird name, so it's very hard for me to remember that that's his name. But anyway, so he was discussing scheduling for a hearing for a black defendant. Audio from his courtroom includes his conversation with an attorney. Quote, "I'm not working second shift. I'm going to work like a regular white man, as they used to say. I'm not going to be a slave."
Oh, my.
End quote. Woo! Chile. So, the judicial rules in Tennessee bar judges from behavior that shows bias or prejudice or making racially charged statements, etc., etc. So after the Tennessean got a recording of Judge Haywood Berry making that statement, his quote is, "It was probably a very inappropriate statement. I'm sorry I made it. I'm ashamed of the fact that something like that would even come out of my brain. End quote.
Did you say come out of my brain for real?
Yes. Mr. Barry, you are stupid. To make an apology that starts with, it was probably a very inappropriate statement. Probably,
right.
Motherfucker. No. It was a very inappropriate statement. As a matter of fact, I believe that you should be taken down from the bench.
Absolutely.
His whatever the fuck it's called term, it goes to 2022, I believe, in which he already said that he didn't plan on running again after that. But I'm just confused as to not only how he is not immediately removed from the bench, but how we are not reviewing all of the cases he has worked on that involved black defendants.
No, right. And it's crazy because that's not, to me, I feel like people would act as if, especially if you yourself are racist, act like that's a lot to be done. But it's like, I don't understand how, if you claim to be someone who would uphold the law, and if this were vice versa, if something with this racist would have been said about someone that were white, you probably would want them hung from a tree. Because, that's the type of shit y'all like to do, your ancestors. But say that to say, you would think if people had any, moral fiber, I guess that's the word for it, you would just, you would read that and be like, you know what? Okay, that was really messed up. I'm going to leave this job. I'm going to go get a job that doesn't affect other people, like their lives. Yeah. Because I clearly have too many racial prejudices, or I have racistness inside me, and this job, I have racial bias. Clearly, this is a job that would really, really mess some things up for some people if I carry around those thoughts. But we can't be self-condemning. People are trash.
Whew. Not only did he make this, but he made it while he was at work. You know what I mean? This isn't even like somebody snuck and recorded you at home, minding your business and being racist at home. No. You did this on the bench when we are talking about, hey, we need to schedule this hearing for this black man. And your response is, no, I ain't working like a slave. I'm going to be working like a regular white man, and I'm not pulling a double shift.
Right.
What?
That's disgusting.
You need to be removed expeditiously, and also every single case you presided over involving a black defendant needs to be looked at immediately, reviewed, honestly, retrial, re-sentencing, re-bargaining, whatever it is. Everything needs to be looked at because you are clearly a racist. You are an overt racist, and your weak-ass apology honestly just enforces how much of a racist you are to even say something like it was probably inappropriate.
Right. Gross.
So, in sounds about white, honestly, using your privilege per usual to harm black people who, if we say are innocent until proven guilty, then honestly, you are harming innocent black people with your racism, and you need to get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, he's garbage.
Yeah, absolutely. Throw him away now.
Throw him away.
Do it
Absolutely.
today. Do it today.
Woo! All right. Sexpectations.
All righty. Are you ready?
Oh, God.
Okay.
No, I'm not. This is too much. My face gets warm because I can feel you smiling through the microphone and I don't like it.
No, I am smiling really, really big, but it's not bad.
Okay.
Do you refer to the female orgasm as nutting?
Sometimes.
Ugh.
Sometimes.
That unnerves me. But
I like to be very vulgar and make people very uncomfortable. So yeah,
no,
I say that.
But I'm saying, if you weren't trying to make somebody uncomfortable, is that what you would refer to it as? Is that the what is it? What did he say in Beauty Shop? Damn, what did he say that made Queen Latifah mad? Oh my God. And he said, wow, it was the part. You never seen Beauty Shop with Queen Latifah?
Yes, but I'm not like you, Cindy. I don't remember everybody's lines.
It was something, and she thought she called him a moniker.
Oh, a moniker, yeah. What'd you say? My nigga. What?
So she was like, the moniker on the building. What? What you call me? But so that's not the word I was looking for. But yeah, well, maybe moniker does work. Is that I think moniker is just another way to say name. Moniker. Sorry, that's funny.
Yeah. A nut. Yeah.
That is
I bust a nut or
gross.
two.
That is gross. I always thought that was a male.
But you
like
know
the
what? It
male
has to be a
terminology.
very, very good one. Like no 5 and 6 stars are gonna get called that.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That-
Didn't Kalia say we wanted to go? She wanted us to go there for Sexpectations, so we're going there. You're all welcome.
that's disgusting. I don't ever want to hear you say that out of your mouth around me. You can do whatever you want in your private life, but I personally consider that to be the male term for orgasm. I don't know who I heard say it, but I just
Sometimes you
remember
gotta,
being
just a little squirrel trying to get a little nut.
that's disgusting. I just don't like it. I mean, and I was like, maybe we're getting to a point where we're using gender fluid terminology for orgasming, where we're using nut to refer to male and female.
Wow,
orgasm.
you better be analytical.
But you know what? Also, on the other side of that, I was like, I'm slow to the sexual innuendo curve, because I also thought, for my entire life, I thought tossing salad was performing fellatio. I'm in the house.
Yeah, it's
My
like
mom's
eating
home,
butt,
so.
ain't it? That's some old
Yeah.
people shit, honestly. Tossing salad. What do we look like? Only Plies has said that ever before. I don't want to hear that again.
No,
Drop
I heard it.
Oh no. Because you know what? Plies said he's gonna drop some mayonnaise in the salad.
What does that mean?
He was gonna drop some let me drop some mayonnaise, baby, in your salad.
I don't know. What that means. I
Disgusting.
think I know
First
what
of
it
all,
means, but I don't-
Plies, I have questions. Do you eat salad with mayonnaise? Because that's disgusting.
I'm disgusted.
Oh man. Yeah,
Well,
I say that
I
sometimes.
would like to go on record in saying that I don't say that, and it unnerves me. In the words of Kalia, it unnerves me when I hear people refer to the female orgasm as such. But because I guess I think coming is a gender neutral word,
Yeah.
cum,
Mm-hmm.
but nutting is a male term for me.
I hear you.
Yeah. All right.
What about you, party people, party guests in the living room? Do you ladies bless a nut sometimes? I ain't gonna be able to say that with a straight face, but I think I do say that sometimes.
Ugh. And with
I think I'm going to roll over my Sexpectations questions to next week.
Okay, so you don't have one for me this week?
No, I do.
Oh, okay. So
But I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it.
Okay, so you have one, but you have another?
No, I just have one.
Okay, what is it?
I just said I was gonna roll it over.
So you don't have one for this week?
No, I do. I'm looking at it.
Oh, okay. I don't know what roll it over means, but go ahead, girl.
I'm gonna ask it next week.
So meaning you're not gonna ask me anything this week?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Cause you just made us talk about nut. I'm uncomfortable now.
You're uncomfortable? And you're
Yes,
lying.
and your level of vulgarity is actually it's unhinged. I'm about to text your mom.
I'm out of here. All right. And black on black support?
Black on black support.
I would like to shout out Brian Stevenson for being a magnificent human being.
Oh my God. Yes.
The part of the book that really, really stood out to me was it was near the end. So, okay, before I get into that, because I know we know what we're talking about. But
Yes.
for our listeners, if you have not heard yet, let me and Aisha both bless you with this book called Just Mercy. Written by Brian Stevenson, who is a defense attorney who has, in conjunction with the people who work with him at the Equal Justice Initiative, which is what he founded. It's a group of lawyers. I think it's like a multitude of lawyers, and probably other people too, with other job titles also. But they have gotten over 100 people off death row, if I'm not mistaken. But the part of the book that really stood out to me, the reason why I wanted to shout him out for black on black support. Oh, also 2 reasons actually. So the first was when he got to the part where he said that we created basically a re-entry program, like making sure that they were, trained for jobs, making sure they had somewhere to live when they got out of prison, because there's so many people who go to jail for all these years, like the people who he represented, like, for instance, let's use Ray Hinton, for example, whose book I haven't read, but let's say, this man who literally was on death row for 30 years, in 30 years, you're the people who were closest to you can pass away, which means you could come out of prison and have no one to help you get back on your feet. So when I got to that part of the book, which is near the end, when he was like, like, yeah, we have all these programs or this mass program set up to help people re-enter society with all the things that we feel like people need, help them get jobs, you know, again, like I said earlier, helping them have somewhere to stay. And just so, because again, when you don't have those things, you're more likely to commit crime and go right back into the same prison or the same system, you know, you just left. So I thought that was really, really dope. And the second reason I wanted to shout him out was because I visited his Peace and Justice Museum and the memorial when I went to Alabama for my birthday, and it was literally amazing. I part of me wants to tell people what was in the museum, and then part of me, because I couldn't take any pictures, so the blog that I do will be mostly the statues and the memorial more so than it will be the museum. But he definitely highlighted the domestic slave trade. So one big takeaway for me going to that museum was that I didn't realize how when the international slave trade ended, so like, you know, the importation of people who were about to be enslaved or people who had been kidnapped ended, people started trading enslaved people domestically. And so there was a part when you first walk into the museum where he's talking about how people had to walk for 4 months from the like northern states all the way down to deeper southern states to get to where they had been traded to. And I don't know what I thought was happening, because don't get me wrong, everybody wasn't walking. Some people came by train, some people came by boat, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just like I wonder what I thought before. Like, yeah, if you ever learn something to be like, what did I think before I knew this?
Yeah.
Like, how did I think that these enslaved men and women and children got to, well, number one, I didn't even think about all the slave trading that happened domestically after the end of the transatlantic slave trade. So I guess I wasn't thinking about it at all. But in my head, I'm like, and then once I learned about it in the museum, and then I read that they were walking for up to 4 months chained together, I was like, how else did I think they got down here? Like, yeah. When I tell you, and then I also learned that 50% of families were broken up by the domestic slave trade, which really hit hard for Khalid, because she was like, that's crazy. That means me and you could be cousins and not know it. Or sisters. Or, well, not sisters, but cousins. And the museum was amazing. Over 4,000 people were lynched in the United States. Excuse me, and there's these physical structures that have for each county with the names of each person and the date that they were lynched on them, and that's like a massive memorial that he has down there too. So I brought that up to say that it's just been like insanely researched, like very detail oriented. He literally takes you from slavery, because Montgomery became a major hub for enslaved men and women. Like the actual museum is literally in the same spot as what used to be a slave warehouse. So it's like the history down there is like very well preserved. The Rosa Parks Museum, not to get off subject too much, but it's literally at the corner where she was arrested. So like it's just his museum, and everybody that he works with it's just very well researched. It's very interactive. It's very technologically advanced. So I don't want to give away too much in case anybody wants to go, because I think for me, a big part of my experience is just being surprised with what I'm going to get when I go somewhere. But it just literally takes you from slavery all the way up to mass incarceration, with a huge amount of efforts and research done towards like lynching, towards slavery as it pertained to Montgomery, and then mass incarceration. And it's beautiful. So shout out to Bryan Stevenson and everybody that he's ever worked with, all the people that he's been able to get off death row and out of prison, and just everybody who made the memorial and the museum possible, because it is a amazing thing that he was able to accomplish. And he talks about it in the book too, which I thought was really, really dope. So that's my shout out.
Nice. Bryan Stevenson. What a king.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have a few. We're going to start with Gabe Kunda. I hope I'm saying that right. Kunde. Not really 100% sure. But he is a voice actor who has done the voiceovers, usually for trailers and the like, for a lot of movies and shows, to name a few. The Doolittle movie, for Just Mercy, for Queen and Slim, for Black and Blue, the Harriet movie, for Pose, for John Wick 3, for Black Klansman, and has been the voice of the Atlanta Hawks for their team for about 3 years. He recently just shot his shot at Ava DuVernay. So he was kind of like getting posted on a lot of black excellence pages that I follow on Instagram and such. So I think people were starting to know who he was. And so with that attention, he chose to shoot his shot, which I am not mad at. So he tweets, bruh, I just want to voice the trailers for whatever movie that Ava DuVernay is working on. In which case, within 24 hours, Ava DuVernay quoted the tweet and said, ready for your Cherish the Day promo spot session, Gabe. I look forward to reviewing your session. You're a perfect example of shooting your shot and then having the chops to back it up. Knock it out of the park. So they will be working together for her Cherish the Day promo. Which dope. I think is really dope. Hell yeah. Shoot your shot. He's only 25 years old and he's already accomplished so much, and he gets to do the voice of a whole lot of really dope ass shit. Also speaking to him doing the voiceovers for the ATL Hawks for the past 3 years, ATL Hawk player Trae Young wipes out the medical debt of about 570 people in Atlanta, Georgia. So what he did was he donated $10,000 to RIP Medical Debt. RIP is an organization that helps people pay off debt from medical providers by buying the debt portfolios on a secondary market for pennies on the dollar. So basically a debt collector, right? But what their organization does is it uses the donations from, good people like Mr. Trae Young, and pays about $100 per dollar that's donated. So with the $10,000 that the Trae Young Foundation donated to RIP medical debt, he was able to wipe out all the debt for 570 people in the Atlanta area with totaling that was over $1,059,186.39. Wow. So I think that was really, really dope. It's a perfect example of using your platform, your means, etc., to help others bigger picture wise. Like a lot of these athletes are buying $500,000 cars and jewelry and Louis Vuitton this and Gucci that, when that $10,000 shopping spree that you just decided to take on a Tuesday could have wiped out $1 million worth of debt for families who cannot afford to pay it. So in order to even qualify for the debt forgiveness through the RIP Medical Debt Organization, you have to make less than twice the federal poverty line, have debt that makes up more than 5% of your earnings. And just think about how crazy that is. If I get sick and go to the hospital and I can't afford my bills, not only if I was below the poverty level, but I would have to make less than twice the federal poverty level. So if that federal poverty, I don't know exactly what it is, but say if it's $30,000, that means I would have to be making like $15,000 a year. Year, people, in order to qualify for forgiveness of your debt, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. Just sounds like it's just set up for people to fail.
Absolutely.
I don't understand why we spent so much time coming up with a system that just like creates more and more failure. Like I was having a conversation.
They want us to fail. It's twice the level, below the level of poverty. That is insane to even qualify for that forgiveness. But shout out to RIP Medical Debt. It sounds like they're very different from other debt collectors in that they're not, like hounding you for the things. They're working off of donations. It's a nonprofit. So that's really, really cool. Hopefully we can get even more collection type agencies like that created, and with the help of celebrities like, hey, P. Diddy, if you're looking for a chance to turn your life around, this would be a great way to do it. Get a medical debt collectors agency that allows your celebrity friends to pay $1 basically, that wipes out $100 worth of debt. That is incredible. Since they have first launched, they've wiped out more than $1 billion in medical debt. $1 billion in medical debt. That's crazy. That's an insane amount of money for medical debt.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with my coworker the other day about how I don't understand why they just don't make stuff affordable to begin with. Again, just going back to the point of just things being set up for failure. Like, why wouldn't you just make college affordable to begin with? Why wouldn't you just make surgery affordable to begin with? Like, I don't understand why we just want to continue to create more and more debt. But, that was just my little 2 cents I want to throw in real quick. But shout out to him. That's amazing.
Yeah, shout out to Trae Young. I have one more. It is Elliot Riley. He is a barber in Charlotte, North Carolina. He has a business called Groomed for Greatness, or not even a business, it's like his nonprofit, where he goes to elementary schools each week on his day off and cuts the hair of students who cannot afford it and don't have the resources to do so otherwise.
I saw a video about this.
Yes, it's really dope. So he said, you know, he cuts a lot of heads, usually at least 10 for each time he goes to a school, which if you've ever got your hair cut, you know, it takes a long time. But he said it takes a village to raise a child, and if I can become a part of that village here at Reedy Creek and other CMS schools through my gift and influence students, then that's what I want to do. He said when you have a good haircut, when you look good, you feel good, you have more confidence. And I think that's really dope. I think about when I first cut my hair some years ago. I was in college, and I couldn't afford to keep going to get my hair cut. Like, I just didn't have the money for it. And that's, honestly a more superficial way. But if I think as a young kid, especially as a young man, not having a good haircut, getting picked on, getting teased, or not feeling confident, whatever, right. How that translate into your studies and your school and your behaviors. So I think that's really dope. I remember thinking in college how I wished I could cut hair, because when I would go and volunteer, feed homeless and stuff like that, I would see how many people, I'm like, how can we even expect people to get off the streets if they don't have a job resume. They have no access to create a job resume. They have no clothes to wear to a job interview. They probably wouldn't even know where to start to wear for a job interview. On top of that, so I have to figure out how to get transportation to this place, how to create and print a resume, how to find the clothes to wear to a job interview, which sometimes it's more than one, so 2 sets of clothes to wear, and a haircut. All of that together, like, let's just be realistic. A haircut, let's say $30-$40. 2 outfits, even if you shopped it very, very cheap, let's say 2 outfits would cost you at least $50. Printing the paper, finding the transportation, all those things add up. So you mean to tell me to even try to get a job, I need at least $200 right now just to get me into the door? And I thought about how much of a privilege it is to even be able to get your hair cut, especially often when it comes to haircuts being $20, $30, $40, $50 per haircut. And if you want to keep it looking nice, once a week or once every 2 weeks, that's a lot, especially for a family think about families who are below the poverty level with, say, medical bills, etc. And you want your child to look good for school, but it's like, I'm sorry, Junior, I don't have an extra $40 every week. I can't do it. I can barely pay for your food. Think about how many times on this show alone that we've talked about school lunch debt. I mean, it's like, I can barely afford to feed my kids, let alone have them looking good, feeling good for school. So I think that's really dope. Elliot Riley, he also owns the Grooming Lounge, which is located in North Lake Mall. So I just wanted to inspire people, if you are in Charlotte, or even if you're not, but if you are in Charlotte, to drop by the Grooming Lounge. Maybe, I'm sure he has something set up where you could donate to go towards those kids, whether that means getting them some books or buying some capes or new clippers that he could take to the school to cut hair. Or if you are a barber, to try to get in with his program, his organization, to be able to help him out. He says he needs more help and more hands with him to go cut students' hairs on their days off, which if you can do that, please be a part of that. I think that's really, really dope. Even if it's, say, $5, whatever, if you can donate time, if you can donate money, if you can donate clippers, if you can donate some capes, all that is really, really dope, and it really goes to a really good cause. So shout out to Elliot Riley for what he's doing in the community, especially of Charlotte and CMS schools, because if you know anything about CMS schools, we need all the help we can get.
Right. That's super dope. Shout out to all of those people who are doing amazing things in one way or another. Like you said, it might come off a little superficial, but at the end of the day, when you're getting picked on, you can't concentrate in school. When you are, even not even getting picked on, but when you just, see other kids coming to school dressed nice with their J's on, fresh haircuts, fresh
this is elementary school. As a whole ass adult, a 25-year-old woman, if I am not looking good and feeling good, I'm missing out on a lot of opportunities. If I don't look good, I'm probably not going to go to a certain event that I know I should be at, or an audition, or a job interview, or whatever, as a 25-year-old woman, because I'm not feeling confident. So imagine how this feels to kids who definitely don't have the skills to maneuver and be more secure.
Right. And, again, kids are also very mean. So
kids are, they can be the worst, honestly, truly. They can be very mean.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, shout out to them. That's dope. I'm definitely going to, I don't like to switch barbers, but I might check him out, see what he can do. Because I am about to shave this good head, so I'm excited.
Oh, yes. How many months do you have?
1.
Oh,
Yep, less than one. My cousin's wedding is March 1st, and I literally told my manager the other day, I was like, if I could go to her wedding March 1st and make it to the barbershop that same day, I would cut all my hair off that same day.
I am weak.
But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, so I'm going to have to try to probably get it cut Monday.
I hear you.
I mean, I'm somewhere in between that and just not touching it ever again, but we'll see.
You know, if you do decide to touch it, check out my guy, Mr. Elliot Riley. That's so fucking dope. I think he's really cool for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially, like, you're not even talking about, like, yo nephews and yo whatever. Like, you are going to cut strangers' kids' hair. That's really dope. And not only is it dope for him to do that, like, for their, like, outward appearance kind of thing, but you're also teaching them what they can do. Like, you know, like, people like to tell kids they can only be basically a doctor, a lawyer, a policeman, a firefighter kind of thing. Like, showing kids that there are tons of trades. You don't have to go to college, especially if you can't afford it. You don't have to force yourself to do all these things. There are tons of trades that you can get into and make a good living, make a good life for yourself, be a strong, independent person, and not worried about whatever society standards of you are. You can create your own and your own businesses and thrive and be an entrepreneur. So that's pretty dope. Absolutely. Shout out to Elliot Riley for that again.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We got mental health check-in?
Yes.
Alrighty, I actually have one.
Nice.
Yeah, I gotta find it on my IG page, which I need to hurry up because, you know, my battery low.
Oh, boop, boop. Okay, well, I'll take it away. I was just gonna say mental health is also a message to myself. This is an open letter to me and to all of you as well. Is take it one day at a time. Sometimes, especially with this new thing that I have for myself, is writing down all of my goals and setting out to accomplish them, big and small, whatever they are. It could be, did you read today? Did you work out today? Did you whatever? Like, all of these goals that I have written down, which can be a little bit overwhelming. But just one day at a time. I'm very hard on myself. I want to be so great. I want to accomplish so much. As a lot of people are, we're very hard on ourselves. Just take it one day at a time. Sometimes it's really hard when people be like, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? You be like, you know what, Helen, I would like to be alive tomorrow, and I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on being able to wake up tomorrow. That's going to be my goal. And you know what? If that's your 24-hour plan, I'm not mad at that. Take everything one day at a time. Just as long as you are taking a step forward, don't be mad at yourself.
Absolutely. I'm down with that. That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Mine is tips to stop overthinking.
Ooh.
This was posted by the good sis, Clysha for Justice.
Oh, Clysha.
Yeah.
Hello, sister.
I forgot you knew her, but then I remember that we were standing there that day and she was like, oh, yeah, they will have some lettuce. You remember that?
No, but you know, people will try vegan.
We were, for the backstory for the people, we were standing down by ECU's rec center. And Clysha for Justice was inviting me and Aisha to something. And I think one of us must have asked if there would be food, or maybe
honestly, probably me.
And she said, well, there'll be vegetables. And I just remember being weak. Man, Clysha be having me weak. Clysha be having me weak, and she also be posting the great things. So
yes.
This was in her story, and I saved it. And it was like, so the tips are, you know, ask yourself what is within your control and what isn't. Accept what you cannot change. Accept that you cannot change the past. It says to put things into perspective. It says help somebody else. Ask yourself, is this a productive thought? I think that is a really, really good one.
That is a really good one.
Accept that you don't have to understand everything, and acknowledge the problem, but focus more on the solution. So for me, I definitely overthink things a lot. I saw a meme that was like, when you're asleep in your bed at 10 p.m. and then that memory pops up in your head and you like embarrassed about it, but it was like 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
That is literally me. So say that to say, the ones that really stick out to me are accept that you cannot change the past. Ask yourself, is this a productive thought? And acknowledge the problem, but focus more on the solutions. And then the one that really stands out to me is ask yourself, if this is a productive thought? Like, I think if I could ask myself that every time I'm getting into these moments when I'm overthinking things, or I'm beating myself up about something that happened 10 years ago or yesterday, or I felt like I said the wrong thing or something came out wrong, or I felt like I did harm, just understanding if that's a productive thought, and then also like coming back to the idea of focusing on solutions, saying to myself, okay, because I literally done that before. Like something will bother me that I did to somebody else, and I literally be like, okay, if you're still thinking about this 10 minutes from now, you need to call the person, send a text, because I can't do this. Okay, this is gonna kill me. Like literally, this negative energy, these negative electrical impulses that you're creating inside your body right now are probably causing your telomeres to shorten, which means you're shortening your lifespan, which means just call the person, because I can't do it anymore. So I'm very happy for that growth personally, but I'm not always like that. Again, we're always trying, striving for perfection, but at the end of the day, we're always going to be flawed. But I just thought that was really, really dope, and it really, really resonated with me. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. So, some tips to stop overthinking the things.
Nice stuff.
And we got affirmations, right?
Affirmations. We always want to send you guys out on a positive note for the next week or however long it'll be until you guys hear our voices again.
Absolutely,
So,
which
Sydney,
we're hoping for a week.
Do you have an affirmation for the kids?
Indeed. My affirmation is basically study Black history and honor the ancestors. Because, again, back to me stating one more time for the people, because people think I be playing. Black history is my favorite holiday. Honestly, I could not celebrate any of the rest of them and be fine. I just love it. It is Black history for me is like air to breathe. Like I literally love it. Like watching these documentaries has been amazing. Again, 2 years ago when I picked up that autobiography of Malcolm X, 2016, which was so now, wait, was that 2016? So 4 years ago. Wait, what? Wow. Oh my God.
An icon.
Whew, time be flying. So 2016, when I picked up that Malcolm X autobiography, I literally remember there's like so many things in there that really resonated with me. There was one quote, to shorten it real quick. He just said that like basically there was nothing under the sun that he did not find interest in. He could literally spend time studying all the subjects. Then he also said that if he had a free 10 or 15 minutes, he was going to have his nose in a book studying something that was going to elevate the Black man. And then lastly, like he said that he knew right there in his prison cell that his life had changed. He knew right there in his prison cell that his life had changed forever when he first started reading. So whether it is reading a good book, which again you can go to citytogreat.com/books if you need some recommendation on that.
Okay, because y'all will ask about a book list.
Okay, whether it's watching documentaries, of course you can watch my stories, or just hit me up and I can tell you all the documentaries that I have been watching throughout the last 7 days of Black History Month. Or, shameless plug, you can go to Netflix and watch Who Killed Malcolm X, because, Papa.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna launched today, which is February 7th. So yeah, y'all need to get on it.
Right, absolutely. I think personally I'm going to wait till February 21st because I'm off that day, which I think is amazing. That was the day, in case y'all don't know, that was the day Malcolm X was assassinated. And I literally was like about to try to pull money out of thin air and be like, I think I'm just going to fly to New York real quick and go to the museum, because they're having a showing of Who Killed Malcolm X at the museum the day of the assassination. So this February 21st coming up. But then I thought about that coronavirus and I was like, actually, and then I thought about the fact that I'm trying to save and I know I ain't got no money and I'm just going to stress myself out if I do that. So I think I'm just going to watch, it's a 6-episode series on Netflix. I think I'm just going to watch all 6 episodes the day that he
I watched episode 1 today, 1.5. But then I had some things to do. So, hopefully I can finish that this weekend.
Yes, ma'am.
Do something good for your brain, people.
Yeah, absolutely. So to wrap that up, y'all can watch the things. Again, if you don't like documentaries, there are plenty of Black historical movies out there that you can watch. But, people came before us who really struggled and who really suffered so that we could not read books and not learn about them now, the things we take for granted. So please study the Black history and honor the ancestors. That is my affirmation.
Oh, yes. Sydney, do you want to share with the people why you read? There's a specific quote that I'm looking for. That you've said before.
Oh, read until you discover all the knowledge in the universe? Is that one?
Beautiful.
Marcus Garvey?
It's one from you personally. Why you read?
To honor the living and the dead?
Okay.
No. I say a lot.
No, Sydney has shared before that the reason she reads is because people before her were not able to. We're not allowed to. We're not permitted to. Did not know how to.
Wow. I don't know why I didn't guess that first.
Yeah, because you posted it a lot, so I thought that was funny. But anyway, my affirmation for you beautiful people is challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. Anytime you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, you're not failing. You are trying something completely new, and you are moving out of the experience that you had before. You are not going to fail. Just challenge yourself to do something new. There are people who have body goals, weight goals, reading goals. Like I have a lot of people say, "Oh my God, I think it's so dope that you read so much." And I truly don't think I do read so much. I wish I did read so much, but I don't. But it was a goal of mine to make sure that I read a new book every month, which to stay on target means I need to be reading it like every day or at least every other day. So that's something I'm challenging myself to do. It may seem discouraging when you look at bigger pictures of things. Like when you see somebody with their book list of all the books that they've read, you're like, golly, I ain't never going to be able to do that. I'm like, well, you know how it starts? With one single book. And it could be a fun book. It could be a self-help book. It could be a funny book. It could be a mystery book. Just get yourself back to the habit of reading. Or whatever challenge it is, get yourself back to a habit of eating healthy or not going out to eat so much or managing your finances. Set yourself a challenge, something that you actually want to accomplish for yourself. If you don't necessarily want to read a lot of books, then that's not going to be a good challenge, is it? Like, set a challenge for something that you want to continue, a habit that you want to change. That is my affirmation, to challenge yourself. Also, as always, call somebody you love. Life is so precious. Life is so short. Life is so fragile. Let go of anger. Let go of grudges. Honestly, if it's somebody that if you lost them tomorrow, if you would be heartbroken or bothered or live with some sort of turmoil in you, that means that you're holding on something that you need to let go. So if you're not talking to somebody, you putting somebody on ice, giving somebody a cold shoulder, not answering their calls or texts or something, but they are meaningful to you, please make sure we are rebuilding those bridges, opening back up lines of communication, forgiving people, and telling people that we love them while we have the chance. I actually just told Mara the other day, I was like, if something happened to me, or when it does, because, life, I don't want any of my friends who wouldn't already tattoo me or create or, have a picture of me in their house or post about me or, whatever. I don't want people to do anything that they wouldn't have done for me when I was alive, because it frankly will not mean much once I'm gone. And he was like, oh damn, I'm like, it's not that I'm bothered by the way people grieve. I just feel like if you didn't love me so openly, purely, and unapologetically while I'm alive, I don't need it after that. So I say that to say,
what
love
you're
on
saying
people.
Is, you want me to get you want me to get a tattoo?
Yes, tattoo my face today. If you love me at all, tattoo it today. But no, just show people, love people, give them their flowers where they can smell them. As always, tell people you love them. That is my affirmation, my going forth into the week. Create a better environment for yourself as much as possible. That's our purpose of life, is to enlighten, to grow, and to change for the better.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Well, y'all, the living room is back. I hope you all are happy.
Yes, I actually just listened to our latest episode the other day, and I was like, we'll see y'all in about a week.
Right. I'm happy to be back.
So yeah, 5 weeks is what we meant.
Right. Happy that we are back in the living room. I'm happy y'all are back. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Oh yeah, and now that we're at the end of this podcast, if you could stop what you're doing and go give us a good rate, give us a good review on the Apple Podcast, so that more people can discover the things, so that we can again be paid for the things, so that way we can do this more often.
Absolutely.
Please do that, y'all. That would mean the most to us. Continue to share us. We thank y'all so much for sticking in there with us. And again, thank you for being here. If you waited 5 weeks, we're glad that you're here. We loved you. We missed you. We hope that you are well and that you are hearing us in a state of health and wellness and all
Absolutely.
the good things. So
people were giving me the tood for moving because they didn't want it to affect their podcast. So remember, listen to us, tune into us when you are washing your car, when you're driving home from work, when you're at the gym, when you're cleaning your house, when you're running your bubble bath or whatever. And listen to us, share us with your friends. We want to make our way into everybody's living room.
Absolutely. So I have been Sid the Great.
And I have been as well, Aisha Damali, and I will still continue to be her.
So Aisha's going to tell you where you can go, because nothing has changed but the location.
That's right. I am in California. Sydney is in North Carolina. Wherever you fall in between us, please, you don't have to go to your humble abodes, but you have to get the hell out of the living room. Peace.
Bad, 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 little shawty, come and get you some. Bad, 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 little shawty, had to get me one. God knows that I need it. Attitude, don't concede it. Gon' give me that. I know how to treat it. Girl, I got time, girl, I run around the city for the kitty. I pull up, girl, it looks like I'm just in time for the show. She said, some more calling, baby, I'm at the door. Oh, Lord. I'm either drunk or I'm focused. Bad little one making me give up on my whole shit. Bad little one, I'm about to give her like my whole. 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 Give her like my whole.